Greetings and welcome back to the lab. Can you guess what time it is? I got more LEDs to test, but they're in a bag, so it's unbagging time. Let's see if we can open this first one, which is big, and then we'll get to the others. So I'm just set up already, so I don't have to go interrupt in the middle. Let's get this open. We got a big one here, but I think I know exactly what this is, and it's the reason why the whole package is so big. And all this for... Now we can get the other one out. And be careful about this one. I'm sure it doesn't have my... Okay. The big one should be sandpaper. To complete the complement of sandpaper I have, we do have some around the house, but I'm trying to separate lab stuff from housework. And this should be DP22. Yeah, okay. It is 60 grit sandpaper. So that's just for working on the models, which are starting to look better. Let me get rid of that real quick. And let me show you one of the models and where it is at this point. I'm going to be doing a separate video with bits and pieces of how I put them together, but I'll be back in just a second. Here we go. That is one skull that used to be chrome and is now actually a semi-gloss. Whoops, I guess I've got some touch-up to do there, but I'm not going to worry too much about the back of it. The main point is this is going to be facing forward in the display, so that's all I'm really concerned about. And actually, I think I can cover this because ultimately more paint's going on here, and I can incorporate that in. There was also some kind of chemical reaction with the second skull. I'm not sure. I might leave that just so it looks rough and add some color to it. But there you go. That's what that's looking like. And let's see what we got here. I think I'm done receiving from AliExpress. I've still got some stuff coming otherwise. Yeah, okay. These are for future flashlights of my own design. And these are lenses that are, I believe, 10 degree. Says 10 pieces. Blah, blah, blah. Is this 60 degree? Well, I don't know. But we'll leave one of them out. We can put an LED under it and see what that looks like. But the idea is that there is an area on the back here where I can stick in a large LED or I suppose a small one. But the nice thing is this sort of knurled surface, and I think that's going to work nicely with if I just print out a tube and then I can kind of wedge this in there, make it a friction fit, and be able to then stack the LED behind it and have a flashlight with a lens. So that was the idea on that one. Let's see what we got here. I've kind of forgotten at this point. I've got a couple of packages. What do I have in here? Oh, yes. Okay. These are the light test cards for the UV flashlight. And I wanted to do that real quick on video. So let's see if I can get one out without... I'm figuring out where to file everything away anyway, so all the bags don't necessarily matter, especially for this disorganized kind of stuff. Now I've lost track of where I am to get it out. There's a few of them. Okay. So it's not reading UV right now. Where did I put the UV flashlight? I'll be back in just a second. All right, I'm back. Let's separate one of these from the rest. I remember how this works from what I've seen with Big Clive and others. You shine a light on it, and there's a UV test area, and there's a UVC test area. So if it's UV, this should light up. UV in general, but if it's UVC, this should light up. And if this flashlight has UVC, then I'm not too sure what to think of it. Now, there's the UV, definitely lit up. And I can kind of see the UVC trying to light up, but it's not. So I think we're good there. The other question I had was, I put this aside for a minute. Now these are really thin. Trying to pick them up is harder. I'll put that one down. And what I want to do is take off, there's a filter on here. I don't know if that's actually filtering out. I thought it was filtering out blue light in some way. I want to do it without the filter. Considerably brighter. Okay, I'm feeling better about the UVC not lighting up. Maybe just barely. But no, I don't think it's actually lighting up. So I feel better now. I'm not exposing myself to UVC. And I get to still use this for whatever I need to use it for. Whether that be like getting UV curing resin, something like that. I don't quite have a plan for that yet, but I wanted to have these cards, and now I do. So that's off to the side. Let's see what else we've got. We got another bag, and this is where the LEDs should come in. I really should be more careful with these. I don't want to slice right through them with the knife. Try and save as many of them as I can. And you can actually see that the UV indication is fading from these. So that's a good thing. I also take these outside and just have fun to see if I'm being exposed to a lot of UVC outside. Now let's get to the bag. Oh, actually, I may need those cards back. Now that I think of it, get rid of that. No name on it. Good. No address. Okay, we have got rigid filament LEDs. Why did I think these were flexible? Well, let's hook it up. Let's see what we get. I've already got the resistance set up as to 10K. That should be less than a milliamp, regardless of... Wow, these are like... You can see where they've got glass. I'll put one down in a minute just so I can zoom in on it, but I found the positive. At least what should be positive. Let's get the negative. Sorry about that. I'm a little fiddly. There's the color. So it's purple. I don't know that it's UV. Let's try turning it up a bit. Oh, actually, before we do that, let me turn off this light and this light. Because I want to show you the individual LEDs. Sorry, I'm having trouble turning off the light. And we'll get that one. So hopefully that is now dim enough for you to see the individual lights. I keep trying to demonstrate this, but that's what these filaments look like. So now, since we're in the dark anyway, let's light it up a bit. And so this is supposed to be, I guess, a purple LED. I don't want to go too far with it, but I was just curious to see what this would look like. I don't want to go too far and burn it out. Now, just to be on the safe side, I can put the card this way and see if there's any UV coming out of it, or if it's just simply purple. Almost to the human eye looks more pink than purple. Well, I don't see anything on there, so I think we're good. That makes me feel a little bit safer. And, oops, did I just snap it? I heard a snapping sound when it came off. Well, I'm going to hope that this is okay. I'm going to put it back in here. And I'm going to put this off to the side so I can write purple and other details on it. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, we've got LEDs. And we've got connectors. I'll explain the connectors real quick. I'm trying to build various different test instruments that work for the specific things that I need. And what I wanted to do is go to banana plugs, and that's what we're looking at here. Let me turn the lights back on. And that one. And so hopefully you can see, I'm going to try and get these out, but they're banana plugs, but they're with the quick connect. So I can stick a wire in and make my own banana plug cable. And this should open, I believe, like this. Yeah, there we go. So, oh, I thought this was going to open a little bit wider. I don't want to break it. Surprise. All right, well, I'll figure that out later in some video when I'm working on that project. But that's the idea. Stick a wire in there, push this down, it clamps onto it, and now you have a banana connector on the end of your wire. So that's the idea with that one. This is all just buying stuff for projects I've been thinking of and trying to get ready for all those projects. And I guess I'm going to have to slice open these 5mm LEDs. Did I slice far enough? Yep. And these should be, if I'm not mistaken, these should actually be UV. Yeah, it says UV. I don't know which kind of UV it is. So we're going to turn the resistance back up to start, just so we don't quickly burn things out. We're going to attach positive here. The long leg is positive. Short leg should be negative. And I'm not seeing much of anything coming out of there. Let me get this one out before I short something out. Let me turn off the lights again. And we'll try turning up the power. Oh, it is just barely lit. I don't know if you can see that. I'll pause for a second. And then we'll try and turn it up. Well, if nothing else, it's a pleasant shade of kind of bluish purple. Let's get it the card. And we'll see if it actually is UV. Yeah, we got actual UV. So that will make certain things fluoresce. Now the question is, what about UVC? Nothing. It's not actually lighting up. I just realized the coating on there says UVC, not just UV. I'm going to get as close as I can here. Give it every chance to come up UVC. I don't really want UVC. That is dangerous stuff to play with. The regular UV should make things fluoresce. And what have I got that I can fluoresce? Something white, like, ironically, a flashlight. Can I make it fluoresce by turning it? That's not doing much. How about my ruler? Too shiny. All right, well, let's get the hover car, which was half the reason for doing anything with UV. And you can see, yeah, it lights up a little bit differently with this LED. I probably need to pump even more power into this. I'll take a chance. I think I bought 100 of them, 50 or 100. So I'm going to turn this up. Yeah, I'm not going to get much more power into this thing without burning it out. So that's about where we are. These are not super duper powerful. I don't know what the voltage rating is on this. Let me actually turn this down just to preserve it and turn the lights back on. And let's see if it mentions it here on the package. No, not quite. Yeah, it's a straw hat bulb. Oops, and they're all coming out now. But what I can do is, with this turned on, if I'm really careful, and you spread out the leads, I can use my meter to tell me how many volts are running across it. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted those connectors. I know, I'm coming. And I got tangled up in some stuff. Who out there has recorded a video that had absolutely no issues? Okay, there is voltage on this thing. We're set to read volts, So let's see, at 1K, we are reading 3 volts. I might turn it way up. I hope that was in a shot. 3.16 volts. And if I flip over to absolute extreme here, where it looks like it's off and we're at 10 megs, we're still pulling 2 volts. That's a little surprising. It's pulling 2 volts, but it's not showing anything. So let me turn this all the way up to 10K and make sure I'm in the right place there. 2.9 volts, even at 10K. You can't really see anything coming out of it. If I come down to, well, I think I already did 1K. I'll do it again. Yeah, 3.01 volts. So that should give you some idea. So now I've got some UV LEDs to play with. Should I want to build something with UV? It was just something that I kept seeing, and I said, someday I'm going to want that. So I went ahead and got it, especially if you, with AliExpress, if you spend the $10, you get the free shipping. So it's kind of like, well, do I spend the $2 on the shipping or do I spend the $2 on the LED? And that's kind of what I did. So that's it for now. That is the unbagging. I think that is everything I've ordered from AliExpress. I have stuff coming from elsewhere that will be part of other projects. So stay tuned. There are a bunch of different projects. The hover car that I showed you, currently working on a bunch of Halloween stuff. So we're going to see how that comes out. And like I showed you, the skull, that's part of the Halloween project. So if you're interested in this stuff, please stay tuned. Subscribe if you want to see it. And thank you so much for watching.